Do you think you know your own body well? Well, prepare to be surprised. What you know about yourself may just be the tip of the iceberg. The truth is that the human body hides secrets that most people have never stopped to think about. For example, did you know that you wake up taller than when you go to sleep? Or that you carry trillions of bacteria, some of which are even essential for your survival? It seems absurd, but science proves that there is much more going on inside you than meets the eye. The most fascinating part? All of this happens automatically, without you even realizing it. Your nose can distinguish a trillion different smells. Your body contains enough iron to make a small fingernail and, believe it or not, humans are the best long-distance runners on the planet. These are just some of the curiosities that show how your body is a true high-performance biological machine. And most people go through their entire lives without even realizing these impressive details. Now, if that has already piqued your curiosity, wait until you discover some of the strangest and most incredible things that your body does without you realizing it. What seems impossible can be real, and after knowing this information, you will never see yourself the same way again. Let's go! Have you ever noticed that in the morning everything feels a little different? It's not just an impression. You wake up a few millimeters taller than when you went to sleep. This happens because, throughout the day, gravity puts pressure on your spine, compressing the cartilage discs between your vertebrae. During sleep, as your body relaxes, these discs expand again, restoring the lost height. It's a natural process, but one that, over the course of a lifetime, can impact your posture and even cause discomfort. If you've ever felt back pain after a long day of standing or sitting, this is one reason. Now, imagine an astronaut. In space, without the force of gravity pulling the body down, the spine can expand even further, making an astronaut up to 5 centimeters taller. Of course, as soon as he or she returns to Earth, gravity takes over again and the extra height quickly disappears. But it also shows how flexible and adaptable our bodies are. Want a simple trick to minimize this compression throughout the day? Morning stretches and regular breaks to move your spine can help reduce fatigue and improve your posture. And if you've ever felt like you've shrunk over the years, don't be paranoid. As we age, our spinal discs lose water and elasticity, making them less effective at regaining their original height. Maintaining an exercise routine that strengthens the muscles around your spine, such as yoga or Pilates, can slow this process. Interestingly, without even realizing it, we're all in a daily cycle of shrinking and growing. But there's something even more fascinating about the human body that almost no one talks about. It may sound strange, but you're not alone. Your body is home to trillions of bacteria that live on your skin, in your mouth, in your gut, pretty much everywhere. In fact, if you count cell by cell, you have more bacteria than human cells. And believe me, that's not a bad thing. These little inhabitants perform vital functions, aiding in digestion, strengthening the immune system, and even influencing your mood. Without them, your health would be seriously compromised. This explains why so many people talk about probiotics and the impact of diet on well-being. Now, imagine carrying around up to 2.5 kilograms of bacteria on your own. It sounds scary, but without this microbiota, your body wouldn't function as it should. A healthy gut, for example, relies on these good bacteria to process food and extract essential nutrients. Have you ever noticed that some people feel a difference in their mood after eating certain foods? That's because the gut and the brain are connected. Ultra-processed foods can disrupt this microbiota, while natural options, such as probiotic yogurts and fermented vegetables, help keep it balanced. The most interesting part: scientists have discovered that the composition of your microbiota can even influence your weight and your predisposition to diseases. In other words, what you eat doesn't just affect your energy, it also affects the colony of microorganisms that live in you. And if you think about it, each of us carries a unique ecosystem within us. But speaking of surprising elements in the body, did you know that it contains enough metal to make a small nail? Believe it or not, there is enough metal inside you to make a 3-inch nail. It sounds like something out of science fiction, but it isn't. Iron is an essential element for life and is one of the main components of hemoglobin, the protein that carries oxygen in the blood. Without it, your cells wouldn't get the energy they need to function. Have you ever noticed how a lack of iron can cause extreme fatigue? This is because, without enough oxygen, your body goes into a state of exhaustion. Now, think about the practical impact of this. If iron is so important, how can you ensure that your body always has enough? The answer lies in your diet. Red meat, spinach, beans, and even dark chocolate are great sources of this mineral. And here's a tip. Consuming vitamin C along with iron-rich foods helps with absorption. So, next time you eat a plate of beans, how about a glass of orange juice to boost the effects? Small adjustments like this can make a big difference in your energy levels. It's interesting how your body is practically a walking factory, don't you think? And it's even more amazing than you might think. If you think your eyes are impressive, wait until you find out what your nose is capable of. Did you know that it can identify 1 trillion different smells? Your nose is a true sensory machine, much more powerful than most people realize. It not only picks up obvious aromas, such as fresh coffee or freshly baked bread, but it also distinguishes almost imperceptible nuances. Studies indicate that the human sense of smell can identify up to 1 trillion different smells. This means that, even without realizing it, you are constantly analyzing the environment through your nose. Have you ever smelled something and suddenly a strong memory came to mind? This happens because the sense of smell is directly linked to the limbic system, the region of the brain responsible for emotions and memories. Now, think about it in practice. Perfumes, for example, are designed to trigger specific emotions. Some convey a sense of power, others evoke comfort. And the most interesting thing, each person perceives a smell in a unique way. The same perfume can seem strong to some and soft to others, depending on genetics and individual experiences. And that's not all, our nose is so sensitive that it can pick up the scent of someone nearby, even without consciously realizing it. This is why some people are attracted to others based on their natural body odor. But it's not all sunshine and roses, literally. As we age, our sense of smell can diminish, even affecting our sense of taste. After all, much of what we call flavor actually comes from our sense of smell. Have you ever tried to eat something with a blocked nose? It just doesn't taste good, right? Now imagine how this incredible ability to perceive influences something even more instinctive, the body's endurance. Did you know that humans are the best long-distance runners in the animal kingdom? If you think you're not cut out for running, think again. Humans are actually the best long-distance runners in the animal kingdom. Yes, you read that right. While many animals are faster over short distances, like the cheetah that can reach speeds of up to 60 miles per hour, no other living thing has the same endurance as us. This is because our bodies evolved for endurance. We have highly efficient muscles, a system that cools us through sweat, and biomechanics that favor the conservation of energy when running. Now, think about this in a practical situation. Our ancestors used this ability for persistent hunting, where they would chase their prey until they were exhausted. While an antelope runs at full speed and then has to stop to catch its breath, humans can keep running for hours. This is the principle behind ultramarathon runners who can run hundreds of miles without stopping. And the most impressive thing, your body still retains this ability, even if you've never trained for it. With gradual training, anyone can improve their endurance and become an efficient runner. And that's not all. Running releases endorphins, improving your mood and reducing stress. Have you ever heard of runner's high? That euphoric feeling after a run happens because your brain rewards physical effort. But if you think sweat is just a side effect of running, get ready to discover something even more curious. Your feet have 500,000 sweat glands, and they can produce up to half a liter of sweat per day. If you've ever taken off your shoes after a long day and noticed that stinky foot odor, know that your feet were just doing their job. With around 500,000 sweat glands, they are responsible for much of the sweat your body produces daily. In fact, in a single day, your feet can release up to half a liter of sweat. But before you think that this is a problem, know that this mechanism is essential for regulating body temperature and preventing overheating. The curious thing is that, in itself, sweat has no odor. What causes the famous stinky feet are the bacteria that feed on this moisture and release compounds with a strong odor. Now, how to avoid this side effect? Simple. Keep your feet dry and ventilated. Cotton socks and shoes that allow the skin to breathe make a big difference. In addition, washing and drying your feet well, especially between the toes, helps prevent the proliferation of bacteria. Another little discussed tip. Sprinkling baking soda in your shoes can absorb moisture and reduce odors. Small habits like these make all the difference for those who spend many hours standing or wear closed shoes on a daily basis. But what if I told you that some people have an even more impressive relationship with their senses? Imagine listening to music and seeing colors or even tasting flavors through sounds. It sounds like something out of a movie, but it's a real condition called synesthesia, and some people experience it every day. Have you ever imagined listening to music and seeing colors dance in the air? Or reading a text and feeling a specific flavor in your mouth? For some people, this isn't imagination, it's reality. Synesthesia is a rare condition in which the senses blend together, creating unique experiences that are often impossible to explain to those who don't have it. Some people with synesthesia see numbers as specific colors, while others associate sounds with textures or even more intense emotions. Their brains process sensory information in a cross-sensory way, making the world much more intense and sensorially rich. If you've ever heard of artists like Vincent van Gogh, Pharrell Williams, or Billie Eilish, you'll know that they've reported having some level of synesthesia. This means that a simple melody can trigger an explosion of colors in their minds, which may explain the depth of their artistic creations. In practice, those with synesthesia can experience life in a completely different way, noticing patterns and connections that go unnoticed by most people. While there's no definitive explanation for why this happens, many scientists believe it's the result of extra brain connections between areas responsible for different senses. Now, if you're wondering if you have synesthesia, try this simple test. When you listen to your favorite song, do you feel like it has a specific color? Or perhaps you perceive flavors when you hear certain instruments? If so, it could be that your brain has a synesthetic touch. But regardless, one thing is certain: the human body is a universe of surprises, and the more we study it, the more fascinating it becomes. And best of all, there are many other incredible curiosities that can change the way you see your own body. Now that you've discovered these incredible facts about your body, tell me, which one surprised you the most? It's incredible how we live without realizing how extraordinary our organism is, don't you think? Small details, like how your height changes throughout the day or how your nose identifies trillions of smells, show how much there is still to learn about ourselves. And now, what are you going to do with this knowledge? Maybe you'll start taking better care of your posture, pay more attention to what you eat, or simply look at your body with more admiration. The truth is that understanding how we work gives us more control over our health and well-being. If this has piqued your curiosity, don't stop here. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and continue exploring the secrets of the human body and science. There's still much more to discover.